In South Jersey, a growing healthcare crisis there. Camden is being hit by a shortage of volunteers right now to operate ambulances. Brian Williams is live in Camden's Fairview section right now, and he reports that the city ambulance workers must pick up the slack. Brian?
Alan, 1,800 times a year, people in this Fairview neighborhood call an ambulance whether they're having a baby or a heart attack. They need an ambulance, and they need it now. And they get it, but that could all end very soon. In about 10 days, this all-volunteer Fairview facility will shut down due to lack of volunteers. That means ambulances come here from the city of Camden. That means extra money and a lot of valuable time lost. At 12:05 p.m., a call comes in. Someone with trouble breathing in the Fairview section of Camden. An ambulance responds from Midtown Camden because the ambulances in Fairview, just blocks from the patient's home, can't leave the garage. Not enough volunteers in this neighborhood to respond to emergency calls during the day. 20 minutes later, another call. It's the Fairview neighborhood again. City crews respond, and these ambulances can't move, just at a time when time counts.
Utter frustration to know that we fully trained and have an ambulance squad that can roll, but for want of manpower, we can't even move a rig out on the street. You can't take the rig out by yourself. So it's utter frustration for us.
It's a problem across the county, across the state, and around the country. Too few people willing to put in volunteer time. Right now in this neighborhood, ambulance care costs about $6 a year. That is, if there's an ambulance available. If not, if one comes from Camden, the visit could end up costing over $100. There's nobody here during the day, only at night now, and only 8 members left. The building bears the name of Mary Mae Schultz, a 22-year veteran. She sees fewer and fewer people willing to do what she has done.
It's a thankless job. You're out all night, especially in the wintertime. You have to spend so much time at school that people don't have the time to do that and work too. That's why you're losing volunteers.
After these rigs are sold and the place is empty out, the neighbors are hoping the city of Camden will put an ambulance here and keep it that way. They're used to good, prompt medical attention here. They want to keep it that way. Alan, back to you.
Okay, Brian, thanks.
The warehouse was vacant when the fire broke out. That was just before 2 this afternoon. Extra alarms were called in to keep the fire from spreading to nearby buildings. At this hour, fortunately, we're able to tell you that nobody has been hurt fighting that fire.
Well, from 2nd Street and Atlantic Avenue. Now, firefighters were called to the warehouse at 2 o'clock this afternoon. About a half an hour ago, they contained the fire, but it's still not under control at this hour. We checked with Camden fire officials just minutes ago. It continues to burn. No other buildings are in danger, but firefighters continue to pour water on the fire, of course, hoping to gain an upper hand soon. There are no injuries. In the Bridesburg section.
Fire started in an abandoned mattress factory at the intersection of 2nd and Atlantic Avenues. An adjacent structure caught fire, and volunteer firemen were caught in. No one was hurt. But a street in Camden, New Jersey, the force of the blast was so strong, 2 houses on Beckett Street looked as if they'd been hit by an air raid. Somehow, 7 people walked out of the piles of rubble, none of them badly hurt. Just before the explosion, of fire had been reported. The fire chief was the first to arrive.
I heard this explosion. Then I saw this big plume of smoke like 100 feet in the sky. I thought it was fire. At that time, it looked like fire to me, but actually it was just dust. Fortunately, we didn't have no fire. It's unbelievable. But I did see, from my vantage point, people limping and running.
Gas company crews turned off service to the neighborhood, but fire officials say it all has now been restored. Action News reporter David Henry joins us live now from the scene of the fire. David?
Well, Chris, you can see black smoke and flames pouring from the building behind me right now, a 1-story warehouse. This fire has been burning for over 2.5 hours now. It has been contained, they say, but so far not declared under control. The building occupies an entire city block, and fire officials estimate they've lost at least 1/3 of it. It's a toy warehouse owned by Reese's Toys. There are homes just across the street, but the flames haven't threatened them yet, so there haven't been any evacuations. So far, no injuries either. Assistant Fire Chief Jim McMaster described what happened when they got here.
Closed tight. When we arrived, they had nothing but a heavy smoke condition. As we forced entry through the overhead doors, the fire started coming out toward us. We abandoned any hope of an interior attack immediately, and immediately went into deluge guns and ladder pipe operations.
And that's what they continue to use right now, snorkels and ladder pipes, pouring as much water as possible onto the flames. Chief McMaster says they have no idea yet how the fire started, but says there will be a full investigation of all possibilities, including arson. Now, the firefighters also don't know what is inside the warehouse. We do know it is a toy warehouse. However, we don't know if that is going to affect the Christmas shopping season any. And to keep Camden firefighters even busier, there is now a 2-alarm fire burning out of control about 1.5 miles from here at a warehouse. This is David Henry reporting live on the Action Cam from Camden. Get out.
We're just very, very disappointed about the loss of life, and also that the systems in the building didn't work, because there's no fire department in the world that can control a major fire in a high-rise building on an upper floor if the fire protection systems and also the redundancy that's built into them all fail, and everything failed very early.
By daybreak, the extent of the damage was more visible. The fire moved from the 22nd to the 30th floor before the day was over. 18 hours after it began, the fire commissioner declared it under control. The fire stopped when the sprinkler system on the 30th floor kicked in. The fire commissioner says if the entire building had sprinklers, the 3 firefighters who died would be alive tonight. City officials are meeting right now to try to determine what to do about tomorrow, when thousands of people will be returning to their jobs in Center City. City Hall is right beside this building. It is sure to affect work there tomorrow, and city officials are trying to determine what to do about the radius that has been roped off around this fire scene. It is far too dangerous for anyone to walk beneath it. There is still a good deal of debris and glass falling from the structure, and fire officials don't want anybody else to get hurt. It could be several days before Center City is back to normal. Join us tonight at 10 o'clock. We will have a complete rundown of the days and nights activities at this, one of the worst high-rise fire in Philadelphia history. 3 firemen dead, more than a dozen others injured. Back to you, Cynthia.
Thank you. Rich Noonan reporting live from Center City, and we will hear from him again later this afternoon. In O apartments on Shoes Landing Road just before 10 this morning. The blaze started in building 800. You can see there a large section of the roof was destroyed, along with at least 6 apartment units. 4 other units sustained heavy smoke and water damage. 2 people were through the old vacant Woolworths building on Federal Street just after 4 today. The 3-story building burned for hours, and smoke could be seen for miles. Camden's firemen are still at the scene at this hour. There are no reported injuries. The fire under investigation. Owned by the DiMedio Lime Company, and set up a plume of smoke that could be seen for miles. The blaze spread to an adjoining Conrail yard where several rail cars containing hazardous chemicals were stored. Firefighters from several communities helped keep those cars cool while the fire was brought under control. Lumber yard at 19th and Federal Street. Firefighters worked hard to contain the burning flames before they spread to a Conrail car loaded with chemicals.
There was some fire impingement on the car. We controlled that fire. The tank car was not full. It was only a residue. That's what's left over after they removed the contents in the car. And at this time, we have the car situation taken care of.
It took firefighters about 2 hours to control that blaze, which broke out around 6 o'clock tonight. No word yet on what caused the fire.
News reporter David Henry has the details.
It was visible for miles, a thick black trail of smoke that dwarfed the Camden skyline. It was coming from a burning pile of lumber owned by Dubell Lumber Company and stored in a steel shed owned by the DiMedio Lime Company. But it wasn't the burning lumber that had firefighters worried. It was this, a railroad tank car sitting behind the shed. It was labeled vinyl chloride, which is highly explosive and toxic. Flames lapped at the car, and the fire chief had to make a hairy judgment call.
We did move the car. It would cut off our water supply to the rear of the building, which was imperative. So I told them, stand by, do not move the car. We can control the fire in the area of the car.
Firefighters hosed down the car while flames raged all around it. Fortunately, it turns out the car had only a small residue of the chemical inside, and the danger passed.
Dubell Lumber and DiMedio Lime are a couple of family-owned businesses. One of the owners says this isn't the first time the lumber company has gone up in flames.
Well, right behind me is the original site of the old Dubell Lumber Company. About 20 years ago, there was a very bad fire here which demolished the home offices, and now we're located in Winslow, Cherry Hill, and Medford. We've moved from this area.
No one was hurt fighting this fire, and fire officials say it may be a while yet before they know how the flames got started. I'm David Henry, Channel 6 Action News in Camden.
In New Jersey, a man lies gravely injured in the street. Paramedics must battle the clock to keep him alive. A hot summer night on the streets of Camden, New Jersey, and a team of paramedics has just gotten the call to action. A car strikes a man trying to cross the street. He lies helpless on the pavement. The car just kept going. A hit and run, and the victim is in obvious pain.
We, on the street, go by the goal in 10 minutes. We try to get that patient packaged and en route to the trauma center within 10 minutes. We go by the ABCs. airway, breathing, circulation. You want to make sure that your patient has a patent airway. And if not, you need to take those corrective actions.
The main thing you're concerned about with a spinal injury is not causing any more damage to the cord if indeed the cord is involved.
So with the 10-minute clock ticking, Linda and her team moved quickly to protect their patient.
We put a collar on him to prevent him from moving his neck, possibly causing further damage. Rolled him onto a longboard, protecting the rest of his spine. Okay, it was all done in a single motion.
The team lives up to its 10-minute rule, getting the patient into the ambulance in about 8 minutes.
When we reached the hospital, we tried to do a further assessment to see if there were any further injuries. We started an IV, monitored his vital signs, which remained stable throughout transport.
During the whole trip, constant attention is given to the victim because without x-rays, no one can be certain exactly what's hurting him.
You have to keep an open mind and assess the person from head to toe. Ask questions, try to draw out of the patient. Maybe he has a chief complaint and you can uncover something else that is also a problem.
All up under here, man. All up underneath. That's where I hurt at the most, man.
Do you remember getting hit by the car?
No, all I know, I just stepped in the street and...
Pal, you got hit.
The ambulance arrives at the hospital, the victim going from accident scene to emergency room in about 15 minutes.
I think the most rewarding part of the job is seeing someone who is ill or in pain, and you're able to help them right there on the spot. You're able to see a difference either right away or by the time you get to the hospital, you can see an improvement. To me, that's a big boost. That keeps me going, I think, in this job.
It's just an incredible high to know that you played a very important role in that person still being alive.
Another routine emergency call for paramedics in New Jersey.
Their homes go up in smoke tonight, and fire officials there have an investigation on their hands. This spectacular two-alarm fire lit up the evening sky as it destroyed 3 adjacent row homes. The families who lived in the homes managed to escape with their lives. The fire downed power lines at 18th and Pierce Street shortly after 8 o'clock when the blaze broke out. Then the intensity of the flames caused the structure to collapse. Firefighters had the fire under control in just over a half hour, but there wasn't much left of the 2-story wood frame row homes by that time. One positive note, fire officials say no one was hurt.
Taken into custody, police are withholding her name until and if she is formally charged. The Coast Guard is out tonight in Camden searching for the source of some mysterious fumes that made several dock workers ill. Police and rescue crews were called to the marine terminal at 2nd and Beckett just after 9 tonight. 3 men working on the hull of a ship here were overcome by unknown fumes. One managed to get out on his own, but rescue crews had to free the 2 others, and 2 of the 3 men are hospitalized tonight. The cause of the fumes is a mystery.
The whole of the ship at the time, they were all taken to the hospital. No word on their conditions at this hour.
Police took the unidentified man into custody just before 1 this morning. They arrived in the 2300 block of Sewell Street about 11:30 last night after reports that the man stabbed a woman. He allegedly grabbed a gun and threatened police while holding them at bay for more than an hour. The unidentified woman was treated at West Jersey Hospital in Camden and
for treatment, and they're hoping to question him at a later time. A raging 2-alarm fire in Camden has left 4 children dead and their mother critically injured. It happened early this morning inside a row house. Investigators suspect a space heater may be to blame for the blaze. Joy Purdy has more on this holiday season tragedy.
This was the scene just after 6 o'clock this morning on the 2100 block of 10th Street in Camden. Officials say the fire started on the 1st floor of this 2-story home. That's where the bodies of 3 of the children were found.
3 of the children were found on the 1st floor in the room of origin, and the 4th child was found in the 2nd floor in a hallway.
The children ranged in age from 4 to 10 years. Their bodies reportedly burned beyond recognition. The mother, 33-year-old Tony Maddox, and her boyfriend, 34-year-old Jerry Johnson, were able to escape from the flames by jumping from a 2nd-floor window.
I was getting ready to go to work, and I just heard some screaming. It sounded like kids were screaming.
The mother of the children was on the steps. She was bleeding. The blood's still on my steps.
It took firefighters about a half an hour to douse the 2-alarm blaze. Officials aren't sure what started it, but they have ruled out arson as a possible cause.
Normal source of heat in the house was off, that the house was being heated using completely inappropriate types of appliances. This is a working smoke detector that could very well have saved some lives, and maybe all the lives in that house. This is the smoke detector that was found sitting on the table in the living room a few feet away from the children. Has no battery in it.
The children's mother remains at the burn unit of Crozier Chester Medical Center in Philadelphia. Her boyfriend suffered minor injuries and was treated and released from Cooper Medical Center this afternoon. Officials will review calls to 911 as part of their ongoing investigation.
The message that ought to go out is that people literally risk the lives of their families, their children, their husbands and wives, if they don't see that the electrical appliances are properly attended to, that they have adequate wiring, and that they have operating smoke detectors in their homes.
Joy Purdy, NJN News, Camden.
And now, the Delaware Valley's only primetime newscast, Fox 29's The 10 O'Clock News.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Bolden. Here's what's happening. A 7-alarm fire on the waterfront in Camden has just been contained after burning out of control nearly 4 hours this afternoon. The fire department efforts have been hampered by high winds and low water pressure. Dan Fiorucci is in Camden now with a live report on the status of the fire. Dan.
Jacqueline, as you pointed out, within the past hour, this fire was declared under control. But at around 7 this evening, as you're about to see here, Gallagher's warehouse, a huge vacant building here in South Camden, did catch fire. 7 alarms went out, and firefighters, because of the high winds, became concerned that this fire might spread uncontrollably. Thought was given to evacuating people south of Jackson Street. Not only were the winds high, but there was difficulty getting water on the building because the warehouse is so large. But a Philadelphia fireboat was brought in to provide water for the companies fighting this fire. After the boat was brought in, the fire was declared under control within the past hour. No injuries, no estimates of property damage at this time, no official cause for the blaze, but as one firefighter told me, whenever a vacant building catches fire, you always have to suspect arson. Now back to you, Jacqueline.
All righty, Dan. Thanks a lot.
It ran to 7 alarms within an hour. More than a dozen fire trucks raced to the scene. Firefighters fought the raging flames for 4 hours tonight. A Philadelphia fireboat poured water on the inferno from the river. They finally got it under control after 10 o'clock after several walls collapsed. The old 3-story Gallagher's warehouse destroyed by flames tonight. No injuries reported here. And the Camden County Fire Marshal will begin trying to determine the cause of this blaze after the ruins have cooled down. Camden police have 4 cases of murder on their hands tonight. The latest attack occurred at 410 Kane Avenue just before 6 p.m. 25-year-old Stuart Coleman of Camden was stabbed in the chest here. He died a short time later. Detectives are questioning a suspect in the crime. In another case, police have arrested a 19-year-old Christopher Lee of North Camden and charged him in the shooting death of 17-year-old Jason Braswell overnight. But police are still looking for a gunman who opened fire with a semi-automatic weapon at 4th and Beckett last night. A brother and sister, Carmen and Jose Ruiz, were shot.
Unit 953.
Most nights in the city, 25 to 35 officers are on patrol. Last night, more than 200 were.
It gets nasty when they start throwing bricks and bottles.
Gangs of youngsters were running in the streets. When they weren't throwing eggs, they were throwing rocks. This sergeant was hit.
There was a bump right in my chest. I'm glad they didn't catch me in my face.
Police headquarters was busy.
Do you have any weapons, sir? They have 7 people with weapons? Okay, we'll have someone come around.
Through the night, the expanded force brought in the accused offenders. Police arrested 89 persons, charged them with everything from vandalism to criminal mischief. 89 is a very high number for arrests in Camden on a mischief night. People said it was far beyond simple fun.
A lot out of control. Yeah. A whole lot out of control.
Dick Standish, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Mischief night wasn't as bad as usual in Detroit this year, where the night before Halloween is known as Devil's Night. Firefighters worked through the evening, dousing the flames set by arsonists, but officials say the number of arsons is down compared to recent years, due in part to the work of thousands of volunteers who hit the streets looking for vandals.
shot. Left side abdomen. Lower left side of the abdomen with a BB gun. Hey, is this an open wound? How is the BB gun?